In today's video, we are going to be adding and subtracting numbers in scientific notation. Now, one way to do this is to actually convert these two numbers into standard notation, then adding, but we can manipulate the exponents and the numbers out in front so that actually this process might be a little bit quicker and a little bit easier to do when you do that. Also, sometimes you might not have a number that can fit on a calculator. So this is another reason why you would use this technique. Now, the main thing when you're adding and subtracting two numbers in scientific notation is that you can use this shortcut only if the exponents or the powers of 10 are the same. So these two right here, 3 and 3, they are the same, okay? That's the only way we can kind of use this shortcut. If not, we have to manipulate one of the numbers in order to get the same exponent, which we'll see later on. But when you have a number in scientific notation and they both have the same power of 10, you can basically just add the numbers out in front and keep the power of 10 there. So you would add 3.1 plus 4.3, and that's 7.4. And you keep the power of 10. You don't combine those exponents, okay? So keep it 10 to the third power, and that would be your final answer. Okay, let's take a look at an example when they're not the same. Okay, make this a little bigger. Okay, so in this case, we have two numbers. They are not the same. Okay, so what do I have to do then? And we're also subtracting, so keep note of that as well. What I do is I take the lower number, the lower exponent, the lower power 10, and catch it up to the higher power by just adding 3 because we want to have that be the same. Now I can't just add 3 to this power 10 because that changes this number in scientific notation altogether. If I add 3 to this, I have to make this smaller by moving it over the decimal over 3 spots to the left to make it smaller. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's where my new decimal will be, and I have 2 empty hops here. So my new scientific notation number will be 0.004 times 10 to the 5th. Okay, so since now I have the same exponent, I can subtract them. But remember, when I add 3 to this exponent, I have to move this decimal over by 3 and fill in the hops with zeros. That's where I got 0.004. And then you can use a calculator at this point. I'm going to do 1.39 minus 0.004, and I get 1.386. 1.386, and I keep the times 10 to the 5th power. Okay. Luckily, this number is in scientific notation. We have one number before the one non-zero digit before the decimal. Okay, let's take a look at another one. Again, I'm going to make this bigger. Okay, an addition problem. Okay, the smaller exponent here, I want the -1 to catch up to 3. So in order to do that, I have to add 4. Now I can't just add 4. I have to also make this number smaller by moving the decimal over 4 spots. So it goes here, 1, 2, 3, 4. All the empty hops get zeros. So now I have plus 0.0008 times 10 to the third. Okay. And then again, I use my calculator. 6.9 plus 0 0.0008 is 6.9008. Okay, I could have done that without the calculator. 0.9008 times 10 to the third. And again, we get a number in scientific notation, so we are done. All right, let's take a look at one more. Okay. This one, oh, double negatives with a subtraction. That's, yuck. Okay. Let's see. All right, so -4 is smaller than -1. So in order to do this, I have to add 3. I can't just add 3. I got to move it over 3 spots. 1, 2, 3. Boom. So that means it gives me 2 empty hops, right? And remember, I'm subtracting. So I'm subtracting 0.00. My 2 empty hops are here, right? 653 times 10 to the negative first. Okay. All right. Now we get this number, 2.74. This one I probably do need to calculate since I'm subtracting 2.74 just to make it quicker, minus 0.00653 is, bada boom, 2.73. I missed the rest of the numbers. Where are they? 347. And again, this number is in scientific notation. Now, in case you don't get a number in scientific notation at the end, you would have to adjust it. So say I had, let's say 40 instead of, let me do this one, 27.3347 times 10 to the negative first. I would have to adjust it, right, by making this smaller. And when that gets smaller by moving the decimal gets bigger by 1. So you would get 2.73347 times 10 to the, in this case, 0. Okay, but that's just an obscure number. Okay, so just make sure at the very end that the number is in scientific notation. Okay. And if it's not, you're just going to have to adjust the decimal point and the exponent, the power of 10. All right, so that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching. And always remember, whether you're solving for X or Y, always give math a try.